Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a good one. So, with the recent censorship stuff going on in the UK in terms of its internet content regarding children accessing certain websites and yada yada yada, as well as the free speech stuff, I was kind of looking into more of the news lately and I saw this lady. This lady here is, her name is Rachel de Souza, I believe. She is the commissioner, the Children's Commissioner for England. He said the Children's Commissioner, Rachel de Souza, promotes and protects the rights of children, especially the most vulnerable, and stands up for their views and interests. This is her with a bunch of children having a grand old time, right? She has come up in the news lately because, well, she is one of the people who was really involved with the Ofcom stuff and the um, Online Safety Act. She is one of the ones that is really pushing for it. And one thing I kept saying in my video is obvious. This to me seems like it's under the guise of protecting the children because, and what they really want to do is kind of surveil rather all of their people. That's what I truly believe this is. It's just they're trying to hide it under altruistic motives, because when you think of this, yes, you don't want 13 and 14-year olds or people younger than that to look at degenerate content that they may not be ready for, especially extreme degenerate content. But that's what they're saying. Okay, we have to ban this because of this. Um, they don't even try to promote parental controls. They don't try to educate parents. Hey, maybe we should uh, teach you how to use parental controls, because parental controls are on everything, right? They're on TVs, they're on phones, they're on laptops, they're on routers, they're on PCs, they're on Xboxes, PlayStations, they're on everything. And the fact that they can't, as a government, find a way to help educate parents in this is baffling. But hey, it's the UK. You know, they had to take everyone's utensils away because they were just a little too sharp, right? But we saw in the um, Online Safety Act debacle that they basically had a rise in VPNs. This is something that a lot of people suspected, because, well, if you're going to get around this age verification thing, the best thing that you could do that's still legal is to get a VPN. And you saw that there was an 1,800% spike in downloads from the UK App Store. Now, one of the things that was said in the bill was, at least in terms of social media companies, if the majority of the users were found to be in the UK, if the UK's population used that site um, quite a bit, then they would be subject to this law. Well, I wonder if it was the same for VPNs. Now, they did say that they had no intention of banning VPNs, but fast forward from July 28th to 3 days ago, we see this: stop children using VPNs to watch not safe for work stuff, ministers told. Now, we're going to watch a video real quick. We're going to watch two videos, but we're just going to watch a little snippet of one. But Dame Rachel, this is this lady here, once again, she has said, of course, we need age verification on VPNs. It's absolutely a loophole that needs closing, and that's one of my major recommendations. Now, it's not calling for a ban of VPNs. That's not what this is, but still, it's saying, hey, we need an age verification. We need your ID for these VPNs so we can make sure children aren't viewing these sites. For me, this is a huge overreach, because I believe, again, that if if it's somebody that is in opposition to the party in power, they can use this to blackmail the person who's in opposition for them. They can use this to blackmail their citizens and to keep surveillance on their citizens as well. And don't take my word for this quote. Let's hear it from her chicken lips herself. This was posted on X from ViceGrad24, and this was from News Nation on the BBC. Now, I couldn't find this interview. I saw this one on Sky News, and she's roughly talking about the same thing, and she does mention a lot of things in this video that's in this article. So we're not going to read the article. We're going to kind of watch this video and react. But let's listen to what she has to say here.
Of course we need age verification on VPNs. It's absolutely a loophole that needs closing, and that's one of my major recommendations. Of course we need
one of her
age
major
verification.
recommendations, she says. Now, again, this isn't a ban on VPNs, but again, it's another way to make sure that their citizenry is in check, which is, again, a huge overreach, in my opinion. I don't understand why they don't just spend their time and effort and money into helping to educate people, parents especially, on parental controls. But again, anything sharp they can't have. They can't have pew pews. It is what it is, because people ruin it for others. But we're going to watch this from Sky News. This is her talking about children viewing certain material at certain ages. And we're going to kind of talk about it. Now, I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched probably about like right here. And my computer actually froze, or not my computer, but my the thing I was using to record this froze. So everything I was kind of reading in this article is from at least said in the first minute of the video. So we're going to watch this. This is from Sky News. And as we see here, it's not very well liked. 41 likes to 172 dislikes. And it's got 5,000 views. Comments, of course, are turned off. So let's go ahead and begin this from Sky News. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit.
We're going to talk now to Dame Rachel de Souza. You can see has joined me here. She's the Children's Commissioner. Very good morning.
Good morning.
To you. And you've been doing your own research as well,
Yeah.
which is released today. Rather than looking so much at self-harm, it's looking more at porn and how that reaches.
Okay, so that's interesting. One of the arguments that they used for the online safety stuff was, the children are looking at too many self-harm things on websites. They're searching for it, or they're just coming across it. We saw that pop up, and I'm just realizing I don't even watch Dexter, but there's so many Dexter things on my video. It just popped up. I don't know why. That's a squirrel moment, right? But we saw that pop up quite a bit in conversations, that these children are being led to these sites that are advocating for them to unalive themselves, or at least harm themselves in some capacity. And then it was also turned to the not safe for work stuff as well. So she is mainly doing her research on the not safe for work stuff in this instance right now.
Absolutely. So when I came into role, when the Online Safety Bill was going through, it's now the Online Safety Act, we did a major nationally representative piece of work looking at when children first saw porn, what they were seeing.
So let's go back and hear that again, because she says before it becomes the Online Safety Act, just a confirmation that she was involved.
To role, when the Online Safety Bill was going through, it's now the Online Safety Act, we did a major nationally representative piece of work looking at when children first saw porn, what they were seeing, what age they were. We've repeated that as a line in the sand for the Online Safety Act, and I'm afraid it's really bad. There are more children seeing porn at an earlier age, and the things they are seeing is having a great effect on them.
So once again, why aren't you just pushing for parents to do parental controls? Do something where you can educate them to be better parents, to make sure that they aren't viewing stuff like this. This is so ridiculous to me. It continues.
So about 50% of children see porn by the age of 13, 14. They see it online. Quarter of children see it at the age of 11. And we even had 6-year-olds. And I'm not talking about just like, a natural inquisitive seeing something about sex. I'm talking about coercive sex, strangulation, really horrible things that those little minds can't cope with. And I think that's what parents are really, really worried about. So it's
okay. Again, the education for parental controls definitely needs to be there. But what in the world are they watching anyway that would lead them to that point? Because as a parent myself, when my kids watch something, I make sure that first of all, I make sure what they're watching, for one. I'll sit and watch whatever stupid program they're watching just to make sure it's appropriate for their age. And then that it won't lead to something crazy on their recommendeds. That's one thing. Another thing is, I think I lost my train of thought because my wife texted me, but I just don't understand why they're not putting more of an effort into doing the parental controls. The other thing I was going to say, I remember now. So when you see, they're talking about all these sexually explicit things. You see a lot of music videos that have sexually explicit things and songs that have the explicit lyrics and stuff like that. What's that mean for something like that? Because it is in a way kind of geared towards children, the songs at least could be played on the radio. So we're going to ban offensive, like songs that could be harmful for children. You see a lot of the rap videos. I remember freaking as a young buck watching Fuse and stuff like that in their music videos. Like that, some of it, especially the hip hop stuff, was really sexually explicit. So are we going to go after that? Are we going to go after magazines like Victoria's Secret because women are in bras? Because young boys got into that stuff too. So like, what are we going after here? Is it just purely of the graphic nature?
It's important work.
So I'm really interested. So this is saying it's gotten worse since the Online Safety Act. But I think we need to clarify that this is since it passed, not since it came into effect.
Exactly right. Know? So the Online Safety Act was passed 2 years ago.
If it's gotten worse since the Online Safety Act, she's probably going to explain it here, but how would she know? Because if they're using a VPN, she's just assuming that everyone's on a VPN using it for nefarious purposes.
And literally a couple of weeks ago, we got the Children's Code came into law. So it's really important that we did this baseline, because in a year's time, I'm going to do it again. And I want to see the children being better protected. Otherwise, it's not working. We've got to get behind it and make it work. And do you know where children are seeing porn? Do you know where they're picking up? Your parents would be really surprised that they tell us they mainly see it on Twitter, more so than on, their sort of porn sites. They're seeing it on somewhere that parents would think was quite innocent for them to be on, and the algorithms and stuff.
Okay.
So I just want to put, because obviously, as you said,
it's only back here.
On somewhere parents would be really surprised. We did this baseline because in a year's time, I'm going to do it again, and I want to see the children being better protected. Otherwise, it's not working. We've got to get behind it and make it work. And do you know where children are seeing porn? Do you know where they're picking up? Your parents would be really surprised that they tell us they mainly see it on Twitter, more so than on, their sort of porn sites. They're seeing it on somewhere that parents would think was quite innocent for them to be on.
If you're a parent and you think that Twitter is an innocent platform, you're an idiot. Why would you have your child? Why would a 6-year-old be on Twitter? And I know she's not saying 6-year-old, but for me, it's like even 13 and 14-year-olds shouldn't be on Twitter. And in terms of that imagery, I know it's on there, but when I get on Twitter, all I see are fight videos. That's all I see. But again, this is something that the parents should be responsible for. The government should not be banning outright. They need to educate
the algorithms and start working.
So I just want to put, because obviously, as you said, it's only come into effect a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
So if this was carried out over the last 2 weeks as opposed to the prior year, do you think it would have seen the results of your survey drastically improve?
No. So what I think we've seen is lots of traffic that were on porn sites moved to VPNs. So that's individuals having their own, getting their own individual site. Now, that's not where children are seeing porn. Children are seeing it on social media sites. I surveyed every head teacher in this country, asked them what their biggest worries were. The second biggest worry of every head teacher in this country is what children are seeing on social media. So I pull those social media companies in to see me and challenge them. And I'm really cross with them because they left protecting children from this until, they only started this at the very last, a couple of weeks ago. They've had years to pull this stuff down and protect children. And they're just not doing enough. And I need this bill to have teeth to protect children.
Okay. So when I was in school, I don't know how it is now. I know kids have laptops and phones, obviously. But when I was in school, like that stuff was like blocked. Like, and if you got around it, they found out pretty quick, and you got either expelled or suspended. So, and this was like 6th grade, 7th, 8th grade, middle school, right? But I don't believe that over 50% or about 50% of their children are all being... Hey, sorry about that, guys. I had to grab my boy. He is sleeping in my arms, kind of. But you might hear him grunting a little bit. He's a little grunter. But what I was saying was, in terms of 50%, more or less, right, of their children seeing this stuff, I don't believe it's just the algorithm messing up and showing this to them. There has to be some degree of search for this, in my opinion. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know how this works. But I don't think that if you're on Twitter or whatever, it's just going to start showing you out of the blue tips to self-harm yourself or hardcore degenerate acts. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. And again, if you're a parent, you have a young child, and you leave them unattended, unaccompanied minors on Twitter, you're an idiot.
So I was going to come to that. I mean, you're saying, you're really cross with them.
Yeah.
I doubt
Thomas was very
as fierce as I'm sure you can be, that leads them to change their behaviour. So what powers have you got, and what powers do you need?
Well, look, the power is in the Online Safety Act that is now in force, and the Children's
Code. They have all the power now, right?
Now, what
that's
I
all
need
it is all about power and control
to be used. I need Ofcom to go after the social media companies if they don't take this terrible, illegal porn. You cannot offline show the kind of sexual strangulation, coercive strangulation that is online, just free for people to see. So I need the online. I need that bill. I need Ofcom to back that bill and for them to do the work of protecting children.
Okay. Yeah, you can actually. I talked about this in another video. I was reading excerpts from this book called Icebreakers, very sexualized book. And that kind of content, at least in the United States, doesn't have an age restriction. Okay? It's anyone can buy these books. 50 Shades of Grey, anyone can buy those books. And I guarantee you that those kinds of acts are in these books. I guarantee it. On top of this, let's say you get that banned, she says it's illegal content, right? At what capacity is it going to get banned then? Is it going to be banned in movies, on TV? You know, what is it going to be banned if it just happens to women? Like what's the line in the sand there? And we don't know, obviously, but there's a lot of concerning questions, at least, because obviously that's can be used for narrative purposes, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and continue.
I don't think there's anybody in this country who doesn't want our children protected.
Yes, because it's all honestly, about the children.
So, and
right?
we now have this
it's
legislation.
all about the children. You know, we want to protect our children, right? You know, but you know, if they believe that they're the different gender, well, we have to, you know, agree that they are the different gender, and then give them hormone blockers, and then mutilate them. But let's protect our children. Hey, you know, this degenerate stuff that we're seeing online, what about the pride rallies that we see where, you know, it's okay to be gay and everything, but when you have people out there in like gimp suits and children are there and overly sexualized drag outfits and children are there, men who are in lingerie and children are there, what, like, okay, yeah, but let's protect the children.
In place. There are lots of moans about this legislation because this bill put in all sorts of things about adults as well. I'm staying away from that. What I'm concerned about is 6-year-olds seeing violent, coercive porn. We've got to do better. We've got to protect them.
So should VPNs be restricted in some way?
So one of my recommendations was to basically age check VPNs. Lots of us use VPNs. When I'm abroad, I'll use a VPN so that I can access my calendar. So there are very kind of really good reasons to use a VPN.
It's better for me, but not for
if we
thee.
age check them,
I guarantee you, if this is a thing, oh, I know, buddy, I know. I guarantee you that the government, the people enacting government, would not have to do anything about this. They won't have to be the ones to put in their information. They're not going to have to put in their driver's license because they may be in fear of getting hacked. You know, because look what happened with the T app. Oh, we assure you that your information is 100% safe. Nothing's safe on the internet.
Would know if that VPN was being used by a child to see porn. The social media companies know really good reasons to use a VPN, but if we age check them, then we would know if that VPN was being used by a child to see porn. The social media companies, frankly, know when there's a child online. If they got their bit right, we could focus on these other bits to completely eradicate it. But remember,
so if they have an account, then yes, I can see them knowing that a child is online. But that's a pretty broad assumption. Like, yes, if you're on Facebook or Twitter and you have an account and obviously you look like you're 13 or you say that you're 13 and then you're still seeing that stuff, yeah, that's a bit problematic. But to just have, like, yes, we must assume your age. No, I don't think so. And one worry that I have too, and again, I'm not in the UK, so I'm not really too worried about it, but I'm worried for you folks that live in the UK. Who's to say if your child gets on these websites, they're already arresting you for speech they don't like. You seriously think they're not going to come get you if your child accesses one of these sites? You seriously think they won't? Because I guarantee you they will. You'll get some sort of fine or citation, and then probably a couple of days in jail, maybe more. Because the way you guys are going, I wouldn't be surprised.
Most children in this country, the age of 14, the age of 11, the age of 6, are seeing their porn on Twitter, where it shouldn't be.
And porn is one thing, and you've outlined how serious it is. Self-harm and what happened to Molly Rose is obviously a whole nother scale. If we see another instance of that going forward, which obviously we hope we don't, and that young person has seen any clip or guidance of self-harm online, is that on the social media companies? Could they, if they so desire, stop that right now?
Yes, they absolutely, and that's the conversation I have with them. They absolutely know what's online.
Yes, they know what's online, but knowing what's online and trying to get rid of it are two very different things. It's like a virus that always duplicates or replicates or whatever you want to say. It's when you tell, like, you hear people say, don't put anything online that you don't want other people to see ever, right? Because somebody could take a picture of it or screenshot it or whatever, or download the video, and then it just keeps reproducing in different ways. That's how things go viral, right? Viral moments. Viral, virus. Oh my God, who would have thought? And you think that a social media company, they don't go after things like that, and they need to take it down? I think they do a pretty good job in terms of some of the major violent things that we can see. That's my cord. But, sorry about that. But to expect them to get everything completely scrubbed and wiped from the internet it's really insane to think.
They know
and to say that they're not doing it.
They know what is illegal. They need to get on and do what our country now legally requires them to do. And I'm not saying this because, I'm saying this because I listened to Ian Russell, and your heart breaks. The life of a child, is so precious. The thing, as Children's Commissioner, parents talk to me about every single day and start to get frantic about from when their child turns 9 or 10 is what they're seeing online, whether it's self-harm material, whether it's addictive porn. And these are innocent little brains that can be deeply affected.
So why don't...
They're innocent brains that can be deeply affected. And parents' responsibility, you're the protector of your child. You need to protect them from things like that, which is, you guessed it, use parental controls. I don't understand why they're not touting this more. I mean, I have an idea, because I do think this is all about governmental control over its citizenry. But if they truly cared about this to begin with, that would have been the first thing they should have done. Placed a big effort on, hey, let's all get together and put in these parental controls. And I'm sorry, this might offend a lot of people, okay? But in terms of the self-harm story, people don't just delete themselves just for the sake of it. It doesn't just happen out of the blue. There's a lot of buildup to it. And I don't think it goes unnoticed by people. I think there's a lot of I don't know how to deal with it. And sometimes things happen too late, and it's very tragic. It's very tragic. I've known people who've taken their lives, and it sucks. And I can imagine being a parent and losing a child, because you would want to blame everybody. But there's absolutely more to it than just, I just saw this content online and now I need to go.
Don't they just take it down? I don't understand. But we're talking about self-harm.
Yep, I think they don't care. I think they don't care. I think they don't see it as their responsibility. I mean, I challenge them all the time. Some of the social media companies are better than others in terms of trying to actually make a good case for what they're doing. But don't forget, this is a business. They're making money. Their algorithms make them money.
But do they ever claim to you, we're not able to take it down, we're not able to identify it? Is that their
only in the sense
excuse?
of our workforce isn't big enough. We need a bigger workforce. That's it. But they're making billions from us. We should be demanding, and our Online Safety Act now does demand that they do better. And again, the Online Safety Act, everybody gets very antsy about it. I'm sure it's not perfect, but it's the only thing we've got to protect children, and we need to use it with its full force to protect children. I want to see social media companies being held to account if anything like this happens again in the strongest way, because our parents and our families are crying out for it. When you see a porn-addicted 15-year-old, when you see a parent whose child took their life from seeing this stuff, your heart breaks. It's not worth it. We need to hold these companies to account. They need to do better.
Dame Rachel de Souza, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
So that's the video there. So I do believe she genuinely believes what she says. There is some things in there that you're like, yeah, of course, like, why wouldn't we go for this? But the fact of the matter for me is, if you are going to force everybody to comply with this, let's get our IDs, put them online. Hey, it's totally safe. Don't worry about it. We're not going to spy on you. We're not going to use it against you at all. When you're already arresting people for things that they say, you're already censoring things that you disagree with in general in terms of protest and certain political ideologies. I don't believe you. I don't believe your motives are genuinely good. And it really upsets me the most that they use the guise of children, protecting our children, to get censorship across. It's scary to think about, for sure. It's really scary to think about because, again, it all starts with the children. It all starts with the degenerate things. Oh, we have to keep our children safe. And the next thing you know is, well, Mr. Cooper, you were looking at a graphic video of a man being a little too abusive to a woman in a degenerate nature. And we're going to have to take you in for a couple of days and maybe put you in a re-education camp because it seems like you don't know how to treat women. You know, something silly like that. And don't say it can't happen, because I'm sure you thought it wasn't going to happen, that they weren't going to arrest you for, disagreeing with something that happened at a school board. But that's pretty much all I have. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you did not like the video, thank you for staying around for so long. I appreciate you. And hopefully one day I will earn your like. Please subscribe if you want to. I would really appreciate it. I do all this for fun. And I have 50 subscribers. I say this every time, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching me. I know I'm not very interesting, but the fact that you guys are out here supporting me, it really means a lot. But again, I have nothing else to say to this. This is just ridiculous to me. I'm going to go ahead and go. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.